To Syria, and let's bring in presidential candidate Lindsey Graham, Republican senator from South Carolina. Senator, welcome back to the program. Good to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm a regular now.
Yeah, if you're not careful, you'll be a regular. Now, you stake out a very strong position. You want boots on the ground. You want them back in Iraq and in Syria. What do you make of the president's move to send up to 50 special ops?
Pathetically weak. It will be seen by ISIL as that president is not all in their destruction. What do I want, Stuart? I want to destroy ISIL before they hit our homeland. These people are the most radical Islamic group on the planet. They make al-Qaeda look like the Rotary Club. You can't compromise with them. You can't appease them. You have to destroy them. You need a ground component. 50 Americans are being put in harm's way without any chance of success. So can I tell you what I do very briefly in terms of destroying ISIL? Go. Number one, I'd have a no-fly zone in Syria so the Syrian people can stay in their country. They don't have to leave and overrun Jordan, Lebanon, and Europe. I would start training people inside the country, but that won't be enough. I'd go to the Arabs. I'd go to Turkey and the Arabs. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, they all have very large armies. I would train Syrians. I would enlist regional armies, and we would be part of that force. 90% of the force would come from inside of Syria and the region, 10% from us, and we would go in and destroy ISIL, and the region would pay for this war. We paid for the last two. I would destroy these guys before they hit our homeland.
Senator, I think you probably take the strongest position of any of the candidates on the Republican side at the moment. But I've got to move on because I've got this report that came out this morning. It's from NASA. And it finds that Antarctica is gaining more ice, a lot of ice. In fact, there's more ice in Antarctica than at any time since records began. But you say that global warming is real, it's happening, it's now, and we need legislation. How do you account for this new information from NASA?
Well, number one, I talked to a climatologist. I've been to the Arctic, I've been to Greenland, I've been to Alaska. I've spent a lot of time looking at the issue. The CO2 emissions that hundreds of millions of cars and trucks are creating along with power plants, I believe, are creating greenhouse gas effects that trap heat. The planet is warming up. But when you ask the Democrats the biggest national security threat to America, they say global warming. That's ridiculous. The biggest threat is radical Islam with a weapon of mass destruction. So what would I do? I'd move to a lower carbon economy. I'd find all the oil and gas that we own. I'd export it to Europe to undercut Putin's monopoly. I would find fossil fuels in America, and I'd use less over time to become energy independent and stop sending money overseas to buy oil from people in our guts. So I'll accept the science, but I want a business-friendly solution.
That would be fairly expensive for the country, but how do you account for this report from NASA? A lot more ice down in the South Pole than the North Pole.
The story is that NASA doesn't dispute global warming. The story is reporting more ice. The scientists who are in this, I'm not a scientist and I got the grades to prove it, the people who study this for a living saying that the greenhouse gas effect is real. It makes sense to me. Acid rain is real. What you put up in the air does have an effect. At the end of the day, I want to solve a problem. Al Gore's made climate change a religion. Here's the benefits of trying to go to a lower carbon economy. You become energy independent. You can create jobs in the process. Making the planet a safer, healthier place is a good thing. But I want to create jobs in the process of doing it. It's not a religion to me, it's a problem. And it'd be nice not to have to buy oil from people in the Mideast who hate your guts.
Senator Graham, thank you again for another appearance on Varney and Company. We appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
I'll be back. Thank you.
Like I said, if you're not careful, you will. Thanks very much.